Taylor Swift is without a doubt one of the most influential and successful artists of her generation. A global superstar who has consistently dominated music charts, sold out stadiums across the world, and cultivated one of the most loyal fan bases in modern music history. Her influence extends far beyond just the songs she writes. It touches culture, fashion, business, and even politics. Yet, despite her unmatched popularity, one of the most prestigious stages in the entertainment world, the Super Bowl halftime show, has remained elusive to her. It has long puzzled fans and industry observers as to why Taylor Swift, a performer who seems like the perfect fit for such an event, has never headlined the Super Bowl halftime show. While the reasons are layered and complex, they are tied to her business decisions, brand strategy, timing, and the unique dynamics of how the NFL selects its halftime performers. For years, the Super Bowl halftime show has been considered a milestone achievement in the careers of some of the biggest names in entertainment. Artists like Beyoncé, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, Shakira, and Jennifer Lopez have all graced the halftime stage, cementing their legacies in ways that transcend their existing fame. For Taylor Swift, who has broken nearly every other record imaginable, the absence from this stage seems almost deliberate. Many industry insiders suggest that her decision not to perform is less about opportunity and more about business and branding. For much of the past decade, Pepsi was the long-time sponsor of the Super Bowl halftime show. At the same time, Taylor Swift signed a lucrative endorsement deal with Pepsi's competitor, Coca-Cola, back in 2013. The clash between those two corporate giants meant that, as long as Pepsi maintained its sponsorship of the halftime show, Swift would not be able to appear on that stage without conflicting with her contractual obligations. Even after Pepsi ended its sponsorship in 2022, Taylor has still not taken the offer, raising further curiosity about whether she simply does not see it as a priority. There is also the question of timing. Taylor Swift's career has been carefully calculated, and she has always been strategic about the moves she makes and when she makes them. Unlike other performers who use the Super Bowl halftime show as a way to boost their careers, Taylor does not need such a platform to elevate herself. Her concerts sell out in minutes without additional exposure. Her albums break streaming records upon release, and her name dominates the cultural conversation year after year. For someone of her stature, the Super Bowl stage may not feel like a career necessity, but rather just another event in a calendar already full of milestones. Taylor has always built her career by maintaining a close, almost personal relationship with her fans, often creating an environment where her audience feels intimately connected to her music and her life. The grandeur and spectacle of the Super Bowl might not align with her vision of what her performances should represent. She thrives in settings where storytelling, emotional depth, and artistry are central, and while she is more than capable of delivering a high-energy stadium show, the halftime performance requires condensing a decades-long career into a 12-minute spectacle. It is a stage that prioritizes flashy production and quick hits, which might not fully capture the essence of her artistry. Another angle to consider is control. Taylor Swift is famously meticulous about her art, her image, and her business. From recording her albums to owning her masters, she has consistently fought to retain control over her work. The NFL halftime show, however, is a production that requires collaboration with the league, the sponsor, and a production team that often has final say on many elements of the performance. For an artist like Taylor, who values complete creative freedom, the idea of handing over such control to an outside organization may not be appealing. She would be expected to compress her extensive catalogue into a medley that satisfies not just her fans but a broad and diverse television audience. That kind of compromise might feel artistically limiting for her, especially given how much care she puts into the storytelling aspect of her tours and live performances. Moreover, Taylor Swift has never been an artist who aligns herself with something simply because it is expected. She often chooses unconventional paths, such as stepping away from country music at the peak of her success to transition into pop, or more recently, experimenting with indie, folk and alternative sounds on albums like Folklore and Evermore. Her choices are deliberate and often signal that she is less interested in following tradition and more interested in rewriting the narrative on her own terms. Headlining the Super Bowl halftime show would be viewed as the natural next step for someone at her level. But Taylor has never built her career by chasing what is expected. In many ways, declining or delaying the opportunity only reinforces her ability to define success on her own terms. There is also the commercial aspect to consider. The Super Bowl halftime show is not a paid gig. Artists do not receive a paycheck for performing, though the NFL covers production costs. Instead, the benefit lies in the publicity and the post-performance boost in streams and sales. For many artists, that surge is invaluable. However, Taylor Swift is already one of the most streamed artists in the world. Each album release of hers is a global event, and she already commands headlines in every major outlet. The commercial upside that the Super Bowl provides to other artists does not offer the same kind of advantage for someone who already sits at the very top of the industry. In fact, her own tours, such as the Eras Tour, generate revenue and cultural impact far beyond what the halftime show could add. She has already proven that she does not need the Super Bowl to achieve peak visibility. Cultural and political considerations also come into play. The NFL has faced significant scrutiny in recent years over issues such as player safety, racial inequality, and the handling of social justice movements. Some artists, including high-profile ones like Rihanna in the past, turned down opportunities to perform at the Super Bowl in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick and other players who were protesting racial injustice. Taylor Swift, while not always overtly political early in her career, has increasingly used her platform to advocate for social and political causes, from LGBTQ+ rights to voter registration initiatives. It is possible that aligning with the NFL does not align with her values or the image she wants to maintain. Accepting the halftime performance might raise questions about whether she is endorsing an organization that has been a lightning rod for controversy, something she may prefer to avoid. Yet, despite all these reasons, it would be naive to say that Taylor Swift will never headline the Super Bowl halftime show. With Pepsi stepping down as the longtime sponsor and Apple Music stepping in, some of the major obstacles that previously stood in the way have been removed. Apple Music has no conflict with her past brand endorsements, and given her partnership with streaming platforms, the fit seems more natural. Furthermore, as her career continues to evolve and as she works through the process of recording and reclaiming her catalog, she may eventually see the Super Bowl as an opportunity to solidify her legacy in yet another iconic way. Timing is everything in her world, and when the moment aligns with her goals, she may very well decide to take the stage. For now, the absence of Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl halftime show only adds to her mystique. She has reached a point where she can decline opportunities that most artists would consider the pinnacle of their careers, and yet her star power continues to grow regardless. By not performing, she keeps people talking, keeps the speculation alive, and maintains control over her narrative. The question of, why hasn't she done it yet, becomes part of the larger story of her career, adding another layer of intrigue to her already multifaceted persona. When and if she finally decides to step onto that stage, it will not be because she needed it. It will be because she chose it. And that distinction alone makes all the difference. Taylor Swift's decision not to headline the Super Bowl halftime show yet is less about being excluded and more about defining her career on her own terms. In a world where everyone expects her to do everything, her choice to hold back is a powerful reminder that she remains in full control of her path. Whether she ever takes the halftime stage or not, her legacy is already secure, and perhaps that is precisely why she has been able to say no to one of the biggest stages in the world.